Morning everyone. I warned you last night that I'd be early today. I've got a meeting that I need to be at 10, so I'm doing our daily devotional now at, I think, it is exactly 9:45. So yeah, a little bit early, but you can always watch this at a later point in the morning if you want to. You don't have to be here with me live exactly at 10:45. Oh, I got a heart. Who was that? That's cool. So we are on Luke chapter 13, and I'm reading from 18 to 21 today. If I had to pick a favourite gospel chapter, I often pick Luke chapter 13, but it's because of the bit that John read yesterday, so I won't go into that, but I just thought I'd tell you that Luke chapter 13 is one of my favourite gospel chapters, and I like it as well that Luke is telling us some parables, telling us some easier stories to listen to, because like I keep saying, he's been quite hard-hitting. Or maybe that's just God with me at the moment, being quite challenging. So, Luke chapter 13, verse 18 to 21. It's a short bit. Then Jesus asked, "What is the kingdom of God like? What shall I compare it to? It is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his garden. It grew and became a tree, and the birds perched in its branches." Again he asked, "What shall I compare the kingdom of God to? It is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough." So two really nice little parables. They've got kind of the same meaning to them, but they're great, and they would have been really relevant to the listeners at the time. Neil, you made it, even though it's not 10 a.m. Hi, Neil. So firstly, the mustard seed. So often the mustard seed was used in parables for Jewish people because it was the smallest seed that they recognised at the time. Tiny little mustard seed, and you'd plant it, and usually it would become a little shrub, but sometimes it could become a huge tree. I think I've read that it could be maybe a 5-foot tall tree, which is obviously big enough for birds to sit in, for it to sustain life. And that's what Jesus is saying the kingdom of God is like. We often use seeds when we talk about the gospel. You plant a tiny seed and it grows into this big tree that can sustain life. And that's what it's like for us when we're sharing the gospel, when we're telling people about Jesus. Sometimes it can feel like, oh, I haven't done enough. Like, how can I overcome all of this negative stuff in the world? But Jesus is saying that tiny mustard seed can become a big tree. And it's the same with the yeast. I've made bread sometimes, and it's amazing. You put this a little bit of yeast in, and suddenly the dough is like, wow, a huge bit of dough. And that's what it's saying. It's like the gospel, the good news of Jesus is like a tiny bit of yeast, and you just have to put it into someone's mind. You just have to put it into someone's life and watch it grow. Because Jesus does the growing, we just have to do the sowing. Oh, that rhymed, didn't it? Jesus does the growing, we just do the sowing. That's going to be my bit for you today. That's what I want you to remember. Let Jesus do the growing, we just have to do the sowing. Just start telling people about Jesus, start telling him about the good news. God's really been challenging me about that during lockdown. Time is now. We've been waiting long enough. We need to start doing, we need to start telling. We don't need to wait. We need to start telling people now. There is a hell, there is a heaven, and there is a Jesus. We need to tell people about Jesus, and that tiny seed, that little bit of yeast, it will grow into something bigger because Jesus is in control of it. Okay, have a great day. I hope you haven't got sick of me this week. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye.